Hello and welcome back to another Grand Cross Age of Titans video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you are able to farm millions of resources for your account every single day. And so this way, hopefully, unless you're doing big upgrades, you're never going to run out. So first off, let's talk about some of the additive benefits that you can get and how that is going to improve all your farming. So everyone knows about the Alliance gift method down here. And you're able to claim what is considered to be the VIP points, which I just got a couple up here. If you watched the other videos, you kind of know what this is. If you're just brand new and this is the first video that you've ever seen, you gain VIP points either through other people purchasing or you purchasing bundles for yourself. And then you increase your VIP levels to get added benefits, which you can see on the screen here. I'm on VIP 14, 2 away from the max. So if we go all the way to VIP 1 or even 0, you can see that the game automatically gives you some added benefit that is only going to help you progress further in the game. So like I said on this video, we're focusing on everything to do with gathering. So food production and wood production on VIP 0, and then as you can tell, you gain stone and gold production along with the same benefits as the VIP 0, and that just keeps going until you get to VIP level 2, which this is now going to increase your gathering speed out in the open, which I will show you in a little bit later. So as we keep on going, as you can tell, everything is going up gradually. So at VIP level 8, you have 10% additional gathering speed, along with 25% additional production speed for all your buildings inside the city. And I will show you that in just a second. A lot of our players are mainly VIP 9 and above, even if they're free to play. There's enough of us in each of our main shells that we are spending a decent amount every single week, which gives the free-to-play players the VIP that they would need. So if we go to where I am at, which is VIP 14, you can see that my production buildings are at 50% increase, along with gathering speed at 25% increase. So the production here, you can see, is the 11,000. And that only continues to go up the higher that you get. So there's no, bag limit of how much you can hold in your city at one time. Like some of these other games, you could have 10 billion in wood or 10 billion, food in your city at one time. But just be careful because you can be plundered and your resources can be taken from you. But yes, so these buildings will just continue to produce resources for you, and typically at the beginning you only want to focus on one building at a time in order to max your castle level, because at castle level 21 here you're able to send out 5 marches plus 1 additional one strictly for gathering, and that's going to be important later in the video once I show you a little bit more. So if you followed that, once this castle is level 25, then you can really focus on leveling these up to at least 24. Any building that you want to take to level 25 besides 1 or 2 specific buildings, they are going to require this blueprint here, which is going to cost 2,000 gems. Next is we're going to take a look at the Academy. So the Academy, it's very, very good for the Battletech and the economy. So in this video we're strictly just focused on the economy. So each one of these give you a certain perk or boost your stats one way or the other. So the first one that you will be able to unlock is you will be able to gather stone out in the open field. Next is food production speed, wood production speed, building technology. So this is going to help your building speed, which is one of the first ones that you really kind of want to focus on. And then we're going to get to the ones that increase your gathering speed, so you're able to gather all the resources from that specific node out in the open field at a lot quicker rate than you would normally without any of these perks or boosts. So you can see Hacksaw is going to be the gathering, and then you're able to unlock the gold vein discovery, which lets you gather gold out in the open field. So, as I've stated in the past, gathering is one thing I really do not like doing, but you really do run out of resources fast whenever you want to make a push and train a certain tier of troops, or just some, massive buildings in your city. So, economy is going to be super, super, super important. As you keep going on here, you will get to Scythe, which is going to be an additional 45% gathering speed for food. Same thing for the circular blade. It's going to be an additional 45% for the wood gathering. And then you're also going to get some additional production speed boost here. So for someone who's a little bit more free to play, you might want to focus on both of them instead of just someone like myself who just went full out into the battle technologies here and just am going for fighting stuff in general. Next, we're going to move on to the heroes portion here. So just like the VIP level or your academies, there are going to be certain heroes that are going to allow you to actually gather quicker out in the open field. So personally, I have started to work on a bunch of these different commanders, which I will show you. Of course, I'm clicking every single wrong one here. Let's go to Kaya. So as you can tell, she is a gathering commander or gathering hero here because she does have the gather spot along with the gather talent tree down here at the bottom. So all of these gathering commanders, this is all they're going to be good for. A lot of people really enjoy just leveling them up to a certain point to where they can unlock all 4 of these, which is at the 5 stars you can see here. My Kaya is only level 50, and then that way you can unlock their expertise, which typically has something to do with the gathering tree. As you can tell on her, she's going to increase the final gathering capacity by 20%, which is absolutely amazing. Some people even take it a step further, which is what I'm going to do and what I'm actually going to recommend. If you have the stars available and you have the time either to farm the barbarians, like I did a leveling video, I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago. But level 60 will allow you to pretty much open up every single one of these perks down here underneath the gathering tree. So I can get 15% food gathering, 15% wood, just general gathering speed by 15%. You could go for the stone gathering and gold gathering speed increase. Some of these other perks here, I will just pick one of them, just max it, that way you can move on to the next one here. If you only want to get her to level 40 or 41, whichever that you choose, you will be able to reach this final gathering capacity increase by 15%. So just keep track of which commanders or which heroes you want to work for which. So if you want Kaya to be just specifically for food, make sure you're doing every single food increase that you can instead of splitting it up. That is definitely your best option unless you really want to keep going in and just build everything down here. So if we zoom out into the open world over here, if you've never seen a game like this, we consider croplands and anything else on this open field, like the gold mines or the logging camps, we consider them nodes. Why? I don't know. I don't know who came up with it, but I guess it's just kind of stuck. So right now I do not have any single march on the right side of my screen. I made sure that all my heroes came back so that way I could show you. You're going to click gather, click set troops, and then as you can tell here, I have the food gathering speed increased by 207% for this commander pairing here. So if I just wanted to use the one commander, I would only have 167%. A lot of the time, people typically gather the most whenever they are just going out, to go to their day job or they're going to bed. And so they don't really care about the speed. They just know that they want to throw their marches out there so that way when they wake up, you know, if they gathered, let's say, 5 level 6 croplands, that is just a little bit over 6 million resources gathered at that one specific time. So let's go ahead and set out some of these commanders here, and I will let them go. And then when they actually start gathering, I'll show you how you can kind of gauge the time so that way you know what alarms that you might want to set. So that way you're able to just go ahead and continuously farm. So if we click the little castle icon here and we move to the economy tab, you're going to get these increased productions along with your increased gathering speed. So if we go ahead and click one of these, which I'm not going to do just yet because reset is coming and I want to make sure I get that piece there so that way I can end up claiming the 100 out of 100 chest. So both of these are going to be the same thing, except one is going to be for 8 hours and one is going to be for 24 hours. If you're online enough to just continuously use the 8 hours, that is totally fine. If you just want to throw the one day, that is great too. Typically, I saved these until I had most of my buildings at least level 19 or 20. That way I just know that, that extra 25% that I'm getting is something that's really going to benefit me. But I also knew that I planned on, spending in the game, and I knew I could get all of my resources through whatever bundles I wanted to purchase. So same thing goes for the wood, the stone, and the gold here. They're all going to be 25% increase, whether for the 8 hours or the 24 hours. So we're going to move on to the gathering speed increases here. So same thing, except this is going to increase your gathering speed by 50% for either 8 hours or 24 hours. So if we go back out into the open field here, you can see the number of resources gathered out of how many total. You can also see the time limit here. So right now I have just over 3 hours before my march is going to come back to my city with the full 1.28 million resources. So if I go ahead and click on this buff here and click it back on to the cropland that I'm farming at, we are going to be able to see that it decreased by just a little bit under a half an hour. So especially whenever you're farming, you want to really make sure that those buffs are on. That is going to help a lot. Along with if you're, if the world that you're in has actually captured the royal castle, your king also has the ability to do the fertile land here, which does increase the resource production by 30%, or he can use the abundance, which will increase the gathering speed by an additional 20%. So pretty much once you max out your lab on the economy side here, you're going to have an insane amount of production in your city, along with your gathering speed and production there. There is not a single reason why you should not be sending out your marches. Do not do what I do and just kind of ignore that portion of the game just because you are spending. It is actually a really, really, really bad habit. As you can see, top 5 in our server here is all above 2 billion resources gathered for themselves. That is probably more than I have actually obtained through spending in the game, just due to the certain types of bundles that I buy. But in the end, that is really going to help them all out. As you can tell, Thoth is our current king of the kingdom. He's at 33 million power. He's gathered 1.8 billion resources by himself, and that is just absolutely incredible. If you made it this far in the video and you're just like, hey, I just want a quick way on how to get resources, I'm open to spending. If we go down into here, into the value packs portion, this Cradle of Abundance, this is going to be the most bang for your buck in the resources area. I'm not specifically sure how many resources that you get during this bundle. I'd imagine it's probably 150 million of wooden food, maybe 100 mil stone, and 75 million gold. If anyone knows, please throw it down in the comments below. I just don't have any reason to buy this bundle. Typically, I run pretty high on the food and wood, but I have done a lot of just big builds lately, especially with some of these buildings going from 24 to 25. I know that the gold mine was like 37 million stone at one point, so I had to pop everything in here. But so yeah, so you always want to be having your marches out farming whenever you don't want to do something like hit barbarians or join or set rallies. It is super important to your gameplay. Um, your troops use resources. All your heals are going to use resources, especially when you get into battles. If you're a younger kingdom or whenever they release the information on the KVK, you're going to see that you're going to go through a lot more resources than you probably ever imagined. One of my first KVKs, not in this game but another, I went through probably close to 4 or 5 billion, just because I didn't know what I was doing. I was taking really bad fights and everything. But keep your marches out there farming whenever you're just going off, or just not wanting to play the game at that current point in time. Make sure you focus on your lab portion and keep on using the VIP points that you're able to get from your alliance members in order to increase all this. If you guys have figured out any other way in order to increase all of your production speed or something along those lines, please leave it in the comments below. If you see any other viable option, maybe something that's going to be a little bit faster, please leave that down there as well. If you did enjoy this informative video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.